fact, it was changed this morning at 6 o'clock. I made some changes. Let's see. Okay, I normally don't wear a tie. But I did today. And I picked the red one because I want to warn you. It's the red flag to warn you because biohacking is only one of the things that is happening just around you. And I will share some thoughts with you in the same angle, creative destruction. The new era is with us. By the way, is there anybody from the real estate business? Anybody, any real estate business here? Any travel agents? Travel agents? Good Lord. Good. Thank you. I don't want to upset anybody. Moore's Law. Who knows more? Who knows more? Anybody heard Moore's Law? You know about Moore's Law? I'm surprised. Moore told us many years ago that our computers will be double as fast every 2 years, half as expensive, and half the size. Every 2 years. You get double the speed at half price, half size. The impact of that, in fact, Moore's Law is still applicable. The impact is just incredible. The drivers of change that will impact our life. Am I pushing the wrong button or what? Creative destruction, I guess, is happening right around us. Drivers of change, digitalization. You just heard it, right? Previous speaker. A lot of digits coming our way. The result is big data. And if you use that smartly, you're getting creative destruction. You know some more drivers of change, of course. Nanotechnology, robots. You know that 30% of the people in this room won't have the same job 5 years from now? You won't have the job you have today because it's no longer necessary. Robots will take care of it. The other driver of change, wearable technology, maker movement, 3D printing. You know, I'm a concept developer. One of my companies is an interior design firm. We print solutions. We print homes. We print interior design concepts. 3D printing is with us, and they will change the world. We used to go to Italy to buy very expensive designer goods. We can print them now. My company used to resell beautiful design. We got rid of it because anybody can print it in no time. You will print the products that I used to sell. 3D printing is with us. Maker movement. Third driver of change, wearable technology. You just heard about it. Great example, biohacking. Wearable technology will create a tremendous amount of data. One of my companies was selected to partake in a big kind of a competition. It was to create the workplace of the future, 2020. It's 6 years from now. We came in second, by the way. It was an American competition. The winner was American, of course. I don't blame them. You know, it's kind of politics. We became second. And you know what we did? We analyzed all the drivers of change. We put them in the basket. We tossed it a little bit. And our conclusion was that the office, the workspace of the future, does not have any furniture in it. No furniture. Every surface is the interaction between you and the information that you need in order to do your job. In 2010, we all started to work in the cloud. In 2020, everything around us will allow us to interact with the data. And we created the workspace of the future, 2020, by just putting the drivers of change, translating them to the impact that they would have on the bricks, meaning the physical environment that you work in, the bytes, how does it work technology-wise, and of course the behavior. You know, people need to adjust. Otherwise, you know, you just have an empty room. So, drivers of change, it meant, in our vision, the end of the furniture business, the office supply business. And in fact, you know what? We are talking to many suppliers right now as a result of this, because they will be out of a job. The producers of the tables that you're sitting at right now better start thinking about something else, because we don't need these anymore. So big changes are upon us. That's why I have the red tie. I want you to know about this. In fact, I want you to be aware and ready to be changing with that. Because also in your industry, it will happen. You can't stop it. The competition will not only be from your usual suspects. The competition will be from your own clients, from directions you haven't even thought of. This is what it used to be. The big fish would go after the smaller fish, and the smaller fish would just be eaten. You know what? This is what's happening right now. The small fish will charge the big fish, and they will eat them raw. Cost of failure. Does it mean anything to you? You know, the big companies, they're too big. It's too expensive for them to change. There's a Hilton, I think, right, in Helsinki, so I have to be careful. You know, in fact, 30 years ago, I was an executive committee member in the hotel business in Africa. 25 years ago, I was an executive committee member in North America in the hotel business. 20 years ago, I moved to Asia, again, starting up a number of five-star properties. I could run one of those hotels tomorrow again. Nothing really has changed. Your business is stagnant. They're too big to move. Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, whatever. They're too big to move. And the warning is, somebody else will do it for you. If you don't move, you're being charged left, right, and center with young, new, fresh initiatives. The cost of failure, you know, innovation, true innovation, is only possible when that cost of failure is zero. That's why you have new startups changing the world and taking you over. You won't even see them coming. New concepts. We saw a number of new concepts this morning. They will change over the existing, boring, stagnant business models. It's because of cost of failure. I'm not going to mention hotel companies anymore. One of my favorite subjects, IBM. IBM used to be the biggest computer company in the world. Cost of failure prevented them from getting enough innovation in to make the necessary change. And their market share dropped, etc., etc., etc. And now they have tried to reinvent themselves. They no longer produce hardware. They moved on to software. New chance. Innovation only possible when cost of failure is zero. You know who has zero cost of failure? The new startups. Nothing to lose. Zero budget. They will bite you in the back. This is it. They're starting. This is the first wave of the new things coming around and catching us. The flank attacks, it's the first wave, the impact of digitalization. It's the first step in creative destruction. Airbnb. Do you have Airbnb here? No doubt. In fact, they conquered the world. Do you know Airbnb has more room nights, more bookings than the whole of Hilton worldwide? I will no longer use Hilton, by the way. But more room nights. Airbnb, it's nothing. It's a platform. It's a digital platform created a few years ago. They're taking over. We have Netflix. I used to go to the cinema. Who goes to the cinema anymore? Fewer and fewer people. Why? We have Netflix. You know Netflix? Do you have it here? You just, you go to Netflix. And you watch what you want to watch, instead of just hoping that some cinema has the movie you want. Netflix, just creative destruction. They destruct the existing big moguls of the business. Tesla. You know, the first electric car, Toyota, Prius. I mean, terrible, wasn't it? I mean, it looks like shit. And then Tesla came in. It's the biggest success ever. They're selling more than Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi in that segment. It's a newcomer. It's a newcomer. They, in fact, rented a bit of space of the old Toyota factory in California. And they're just taking over the world as far as electric cars is concerned. Some more examples. I used to buy CDs. No more. Creative destruction. Spotify destroyed the stagnant market of CDs. In fact, the market was trying to protect it. No, you can't copy my CD. You know what happened to them? Spotify is just... Amazon, I used to own in fact I still have it, but I have an art gallery. It's fine art photography. And we rent a beautiful space in The Hague, and people come and say, oh, how nice. But I'm not selling enough. In fact, so I closed it. Amazon Art is taking over the art market. Creative destruction. We used to buy hard disks. Dropbox taking over. Creative destruction. Gorilla Glass. Who knows Gorilla Glass? Good. I'll show you a bit about what they do. We use them quite a bit. In fact, we work together with them on some innovative projects. I'll get back to that one in a moment. The second wave is about to fall over all of us. The second wave means the Internet of Things. 50 billion hardware items are going to be connected in the year 2020. Any service, as I said, will be a computer interface. 50 billion hardware and software. It means we will have smart cars. I will just step in the morning and I arrive at my work, I can read the paper, I don't have to drive. They'll talk to each other. They know exactly where I want to go, the traffic, robots, the signs. Smart buildings. Buildings are going to, I checked into this wonderful hotel, by the way, won't mention any name, wonderful hotel in Helsinki, and I still had to check in. And then I walked to my room and I had to push the button, and the TV, there's technology for all of this. We're going to get smart buildings. They know how many people will be in this room, and so they can calculate lighting levels, ventilation, airflows. It's all there. Technology is there. We're going to get smart buildings, smart traffic, smart clothing. There's clothing now that already can even it can charge your phone. It can communicate to the one next to you. It will, in fact, react to emotional values of the wearer. It's all there. Hopefully we get smart people as well. The question, of course, is will we truly get smart hotels? Are we ready to move over into the second wave of creative destruction and allow for smart hotels, smart outlets? And I'm not just talking about technology and smart events. The question is, will we move? Will we take the step? The red tie is there to warn you, because if you don't do it, somebody else will. I can guarantee you. You know, truck drivers, no more necessary. Contractors, you know, already we have minute robots that build buildings. If you don't believe me, just go to YouTube and Google whatever you do and prove me wrong. There's whole swarms of little bees and ants that will build buildings as we speak. So contractors, the end of the story there. Housekeeping, who knows? I mean, housekeeping, you have robots for that. A concierge, what a nice gentleman or lady. We don't need that anymore. The question is, who is going to need you a few years from now? The challenge I have for you today is to warn you about all these things that are actually happening around you. And check me out, by the way. Just check me out. Just don't believe me just on my blue eyes. Check me out. It's all there. It's happening. The question is, will you be part of it or not? Some of you may want to pre-kill their own business model. Challenge who you are, what you do, what your value is, what your added value is to your customers. And challenge that and maybe pre-kill your own business. I used to sell furniture. But anybody can print my furniture. So I had to pre-kill that business model and move on to the next step. The integrated attack will come from all angles. You've heard about Facebook, who bought WhatsApp, right? It's one of the steps moving towards all this integration. Google Card, Gallico, the whole well-being health new business set up by Google. ING is a bank. You have ING banks here. They're making available, in fact, they're selling it. All the data, they know everything about you. What you bought, how much you paid for it, where you bought it, when was the last big purchase, when are you due for your next car. They know all that. They're going to share it. It's the second big wave, connecting all that data. I thought of some, I'm a concept developer, I thought of some concepts. Holo travel. Hologram travel. You don't move, but you still experience your vacation. I don't know. Digication, digital vacations. Office share. You see office share there? Office shares, you know, less and less office use, less and less people in the office. Well, how about sharing them? It's all coming our way, second wave. I have a company, it's called Creative Destruction. And it's set up by people from all directions of life. And the only thing we do is we challenge existing business models and we kick them out. That's what we do. I brought 3 examples. Office Rank, it's being launched this week. Now or never. I thought of the name myself, I kind of liked it. And the third one is Trip Optimizer. 3 new concepts. We hope they will be creative destruction concepts. If they fail, that's fine. I didn't spend money. Lean and mean, right, Sarah? We spoke about that yesterday. Lean and mean business concepts. Don't spend too much money. Just test it, launch it, see if it works. If it doesn't, next one. Let me go into some of these quickly. Office rank. Real estate meets big data. What's the best way to do it? That's why I was asking real estate agents, no real estate agents. So nobody likes real estate agents because they have a double agenda. You can't trust them. Because one day they are kind of, look at this, and the other one, the next day they work for somebody else. You never know their true agenda. They're sitting on this black box of information. They are monopolists of that information. We are breaking that up. We are generating and coupling databases that you may not imagine they have anything to do with real estate, but we just put them together and we find out everything about every commercial building there is. We started in the Netherlands, very easy. We analyzed 88,000 buildings. And we can now tell any client what's the most perfect building for their particular business. We know exactly the occupancy levels of all the buildings in the Netherlands. We had a session with our government, with the auditors of the Dutch government, and we could show them that they are paying too much rent for their own offices. We can tell what buildings should be destroyed. We can tell the energy label impact on the rental price. We can tell what are the good owners and what are the not so good owners by just collecting all this data, putting them together. So here's, this is The Hague, my home city. I live somewhere left up corner near the harbor. The blue dots are the buildings that have spare square meters. The gray little circles are all the other commercial buildings. So I know exactly, I'm looking for a building. I can look at the blue ones. I point to them and I will find out all the components that will make up their office rank. It's how far they are from the central station. How many bus stops are in the neighborhood? How often does the bus stop there? What's the noise level if I'm sitting inside of the building? What's the aura of the building? When was it last upgraded? What's the amount of parking spots allocated to my building? Anyway, let me continue. Lots of stuff that we know about each and every building. The fun part, of course, is once I've picked potentially 5 buildings in the region that I'm looking at, I can simply compare them. They're facts, by the way. They're not my opinion. They're facts. We have one building there on the left. It has a score of 112. And the one on the left, on the right. The one on the left is 127. So I would imagine there must be a price difference. Well, you know what? You can't really see it. The building on the left, it has a score of 112, on the right, it's 112, but it charges 225 euro per square meters. The agent, the real estate agent, would never give you all the data that makes up this low score of the building. The buildings to the left, higher score on 85 ingredients. We rank all the buildings on 85 components. They make up the score, so the ones on the left do better. And they charge less. So the building on the right, forget it. The buildings on the left, yeah. In fact, I picked the second one from the net. It's called New Babylon, and we booked our office there. That's the building at the bottom. So, in brief, it's going to be the end of the real estate. They have no added value anymore. No added value. We just create transparency. everything out there for you. It's free of charge, you know. This is free of charge. You can all use it. We know the buildings to get the best value, what buildings are overpriced. We know it all. The good part is, you're next. And I'm serious about it. Second, you know, these concepts I'm just sharing because I want you to be alert that there is so much happening around you. You can't afford to not do something because otherwise small startups with zero budgets that are called creative destruction or somewhat like that, they take over. You won't see them coming. And yet they're there, and you're out of business. Now or never. It's a digital platform to sell unsold perishables. Every night at 12 o'clock, that you still have one room left in your hotel unsold, you can never sell it again. Every table in your restaurant at 9 o'clock that is unsold, you can never make money on that table that night anymore. So what are we going to do? We're just going to create a platform, gather all these unsold perishables, and make them available to you. And so last night, I was walking the streets of Helsinki, and I got a beep. I was walking by a restaurant, and they still had a table for me. And they alert me on that. My phone is kind of bzzz, they alert me. And they give me a great deal. That's why I wasn't joining you for dinner. You know? They give me a great deal. And they sold their last table to me. And you can do the same with cruise cabins. You can do airline tickets, dinner shows, whatever. We're going to launch it hopefully very quickly. It's not being done yet, so you can still be faster than I am. But let me tell you, we got teams working hard on this. That's now or never. I kind of like the name, now or never. Third one, Trip Optimizer. We'll show you where you want to go. It's a new concept. Never done before. But I think when we are done, there's no need for a travel agency, no added value anymore. We will bring all the information that you want, that you need, to you. How does it work? You want to have a quick escape. You want to do something. You feel kind of, you know, I earn my week, whatever. I live in Holland, so we would normally go to Paris. This time, my wife and I said, let's do something fun. Let's do something different. Yes, but I said, I don't want to travel too long. I hate planes. I don't like them. I don't want to sit on a plane for more than a few hours. So we said 3 hours max travel. Okay, 3 hours max travel. In fact, now we're in Helsinki. And I'm saying, where do we want to go? I'm not selling you, by the way, anything. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling you where you may want to go. So we say, hey, you know, we got 3 hours. Then these cities pop up. They're all the opportunity cities that will pop up when I say, I want to travel 3 hours max. Then what do you want to do there? I'm not sure if you can read it, but we said, you know, we want to have some history. We want to really experience some historical values. And then some of the buttons will come up bigger. I can see there, St. Petersburg apparently has some historic value. I've never been there, but I guess they have. It's all, by the way, database driven. We know everything about all those cities. We know how many parks they have. We know how many hotels, how many restaurants, what the ratings of the restaurants are. We know the weather, the temperature, how much rain, when does it rain. We know it all. We just combine it. database management, big data. That's why whatever you put there, more cities will pop up, creating the exact profile for what you want to achieve in your trip. Vienna is somewhat here, I think. It's also popping up. They're terrible pictures, by the way. But then it's beta still, it's not developed yet. Then the next thing we say is, we want a historic city, but we also want to visit some museum. We want to find out some historic museum. That's what we want to do this trip. So, this one, in fact, Amsterdam, Rijksmuseum, pops up, becomes bigger. Hey, I never thought about going there, but hey, it's within 3 hours from Helsinki. And so the last criteria we put in, I want good food. We know, by the way, the price levels of all the restaurants in all those cities. We put them in the database, and so we know, for example, what a hamburger costs in all those cities. We know how many Michelin stars there are, what their ratings are. We know, in fact, we know where you can rent the bicycle. We talk about bicycles, yes, where you can rent bicycles and what they cost. So, in fact, you want to have more outdoor experience, some other cities will simply pop up. So, we simply combine when, who, what, and how, and we will tell you where you want to go. And you can imagine, I don't have to tell you, the business model behind this. Obviously, it's metadata. Will lead to city marketing, and it will impact tourism. Tallinn, I've never been there, but that may be a city that will pop up, depending on my criteria, where I want to go, where I want to spend some time. Hey, Tallinn pops up. So the more we know about all these cities, the more alternatives you have than the normal standard, let's go to Paris or London or Amsterdam. It's a great opportunity for cities to come up out of the gray masses. Just 3 concepts. The shark attack will come. If they're successful, whoppa, big business. If not, we throw them out and we start something else. We got a lot of concepts in the waiting line. So, the obvious, do something. If you're not doing it, somebody else is doing it. Somebody called creative destruction or... The survival of the fittest used to be important when we grew up, when I was young. Now it's survival of the fastest. You have to move, and you have to move fast. Some strategies. There's no quick answer, by the way, but just some tips, if I may. As a business, get out of your isolation. You have to be connected, always. Not just with your peers, but especially with the people that have nothing to do with your business. Get new input, new insights, new ideas. Combine them, and you have Office Rank or Trip Optimize or whatever they're called. Reinvent yourself. Don't be an IBM. Think about your business. Think about what true value you have. Reinvent yourself. Come up with a new business model. Because if you are successful, somebody else will create a business model that is quicker, faster, cheaper, different, etc., innovation. They have nothing to lose. Cost of failure is 0. And they will just... Entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneur. A lot of the companies, I worked for big American hotel companies for 15 years, and the entrepreneurial spirit is not necessarily there. Pull them in, talk to them, get their other thinking into your organization. Just Don't circle around in your own environment. It's very easy, it's safe, but it's dangerous. Get some entrepreneurial thinking into your business. In fact, get some students to come to you and think along with you. You know, I sometimes do some lecturing back in Holland, and the students think they learned something from me, but I learned from them. They give me a lot more in their thinking, in their ideas, than I could ever give them back in some of my experiences. Pull them into your business, call them in, talk to them, listen to them. Experiment, partnership. Well, you know, a funny partnership, and don't go for the obvious one, a funny partnership was created by a Dutch artist, Daan Roosgaarde. He's a very crazy he's an artist. He was contracted by the Chinese government. Can you imagine, you know, an artist, crazy guy, probably high on drugs, I don't know. And he was contracted by the Chinese government, and they are now working together to create new highways where when you drive over with your electric car, it's getting charged. Your car is getting charged on the road. There is LEDs built into the tarmac that will create icicles, snowflakes, when the temperature drops below zero. It's the creative mind of this artist and the solidity of the Chinese government that will come up with new solutions. Strange bedfellows create the best new ideas. So, come up with some partnerships. Split up. Many companies, in fact, should split up. Consider it. Split up. You know, if you are a gray mouse now, split up and become 2 or 3 or 4 winners, niche players. Just take a segment and go for it. Do something weird, different, unique. If it fails, that's fine, you tried it. Next one. Incubator. In fact, we are part of an incubator at Schiphol Airport. One of our offices is right there. And I go there once in a while, and you meet people, and you are part of an incubator, and the good part is you meet young people with new ideas. And then you have a partnership, and then there you go again, new concept. Launch it quickly. Incubators. You have to be linked up to an incubator. Either be one yourself or be part of one. Outsourcing, whatever you don't know yourself, get it from outside. And crowdsourcing is the next one. Ask the people. Overall, you know, connectivity. I have a tiny little inspirational something. I spoke about Gorilla Glass, right? And you didn't know about Gorilla Glass? Well, most of the iPhones and smartphones you have use Gorilla Glass. And in fact, we're working with them on getting solutions for the work environment of the future. In fact, it could be your hotel room of the future. We work with people like that, with Samsung and with Gorilla Glass Corning, on creating reality to the vision we have about the workplace of the future. Let me push the button and see if it works. This is all possible as we speak. And we are using that technology to create new environments for homes, offices, whatever. So the big remaining one and only question is, your big fish, are you going to be chased and eaten by the small one? Or are you becoming a small one chasing the big ones? Thank you very much.